It was supposed to be just another family dinner. A quiet Friday night out. A chance to sit down, share a meal, and catch up with my husband's family. But by the end of the night, I would be accused of putting on a show, shamed for the way I eat, and ordered to pay the entire bill for a table full of people. All because I dared to order a steak. I'm 27 years old. I've been with my husband, Nate, for over a decade, married for 4 years. And if I'm being honest, my relationship with my mother-in-law has never been warm. She has this way of policing what I eat. Like my plate is her business. Like my appetite is something she gets to approve. It's subtle sometimes. A comment about portion size, a raised eyebrow if I take seconds. And other times, it's not subtle at all. The truth is, I've always had a fast metabolism. Everyone in my family does. And it's not just genetics. My job working with horses burns thousands of calories a day, 2,500 to 3,000, easily. The work is physical. I'm on my feet. I'm moving, lifting, sweating. By the time I get home, I'm hungry. And still, I'm lean. It's just how my body works. But I know how my mother-in-law feels about it. She's told me before that a woman shouldn't eat like that. So, I've developed a habit. If I know I'll be eating around her, I usually grab a snack before. That way, I can avoid the stares, the remarks, the little digs disguised as concern. That Friday, though, I didn't have time for that. I was running from one responsibility to the next, working since dawn. The last time I'd eaten was around 6 or 7 in the morning. By the time we were walking into the restaurant, my stomach was aching from hunger. I felt lightheaded, and I knew I needed real food, not just a token plate to keep the peace. When the server came by, I scanned the menu, and my eyes landed on it. A large steak, meant for 2 people. It came with prawns, bacon, and 2 sides. It was hearty, exactly what my body was screaming for. And no, it wasn't the most expensive item on the menu. Not even close. My in-laws were ordering dishes that cost more than mine. And besides, the plan was to split the bill evenly. That's how we always did it. I placed my order. The moment the words left my mouth, I saw her expression tighten. "You shouldn't order something you can't eat," she said, loud enough for the table to hear. Even my husband couldn't finish that, let alone someone your size. I forced a smile. "I haven't eaten since early this morning. I'm starving. And if I don't finish it, I'll take the leftovers home." I thought that would be the end of it. But when the food came, I could feel her eyes on me. Every bite, every cut of the knife, like she was waiting for me to prove her point. And here's the thing, I finished it, easily. I wasn't stuffing myself. I wasn't rushing. I was just eating, feeding a body that had been running on empty for hours. When the last bite was gone, I sat back, satisfied, and glanced at the dessert menu. I figured, why not? I'd earned it. That's when she snapped. Her voice cut through the chatter like a blade. "You are attention-seeking, putting on a show." I froze. She wasn't joking. She leaned in, her face hard. "You've made your father-in-law and brother-in-law uncomfortable. A woman shouldn't eat that much. It's unhealthy. There's something wrong with you." And then, she dropped the hammer. She told me and Nate that we would be covering the entire bill. Not just our share. Not just the difference. The entire table's meal. Because she wasn't planning on such a big expenditure. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I reminded her, calmly, that this was meant to be split equally. that she herself had ordered dishes more expensive than my steak, including her starter. She didn't care. She doubled down, saying I'd ruined the dinner. Nate stood by me. He told her we would not be paying the full bill, and that the agreement to split it equally stood. But by then, the air at the table was ice. We left that night with a pit in our stomachs, not from the food, but from the tension. And it didn't end there. Over the next few days, I saw them. Passive-aggressive posts from my in-laws on social media, clearly aimed at me. Articles in my inbox about what might cause excessive eating. Links about health risks. It was like they'd formed a united front to shame me into submission. I kept thinking back to that dinner, wondering if I'd broken some unspoken etiquette rule, some code I didn't know about. Was it wrong to eat until you're full? Was it wrong to order a dish meant for two if you can finish it? Was it wrong for a woman to have an appetite? The more I thought about it, the clearer it became. This wasn't about etiquette. It was about control. From the moment I sat down, my meal wasn't mine anymore. It was a performance in her eyes, a test I wasn't supposed to pass. Because the truth is, me finishing that steak didn't embarrass me. It embarrassed her. It didn't unsettle my father-in-law or brother-in-law. They hadn't even said a word. It unsettled her idea of what a woman is supposed to be. Dainty, restrained, secondary. And when I didn't fit that mold, she didn't just call me out. She tried to punish me. Financially, publicly. I've replayed the scene over and over. The quiet clink of silverware. The way her voice rose just enough to make sure everyone in earshot could hear. The little smirk when she thought she had me backed into a corner with the bill. But I didn't cave. And Nate didn't cave either. And maybe that's what really stung. Because the next step wasn't to talk it out. It was to drag the fight onto social media. To turn it into a family-wide campaign, to send helpful articles as if my hunger were a medical problem to be diagnosed and fixed. Now, I'm left wondering what to do from here. Do I keep going to these dinners, knowing every bite will be measured and judged? Do I smile politely when someone tries to shame me for eating after a long day of physical work? Do I let them make me small just to keep the peace? Or do I say enough? Do I draw the line and refuse to break bread with people who think my appetite is a spectacle? Because if the only way to be accepted is to pretend I'm less than I am, then maybe the table they've set isn't one I need to sit at. So, am I the asshole? You know, hearing this story, it's not really about steak, or calories, or even money. It's about what happens when someone decides they have the right to control how you show up in the world. When they make your body, your choices, their business, and then punish you for stepping outside their script. And the truth is, a lot of people have been in that chair. Maybe not over dinner, but in a conversation where someone decided they knew better than you about your own needs. Maybe they tried to make you feel small, ridiculous, or wrong for just being yourself. What I love about this story is that she didn't fold. She didn't shrink to make the room more comfortable for everyone else. She ate what she needed. She honored her own body. And when the pressure came to not just apologize, but pay for everyone else's discomfort, she refused. That's not arrogance. That's self-respect. And sometimes, self-respect looks like saying no. So here's the question I'll leave you with. Have you ever been in a situation where someone tried to shame you for simply taking up the space you needed? And if so, did you shrink? Or did you stand your ground? Because sometimes the real test isn't about what's on your plate. It's about whether you believe you deserve to sit at the table at all.